Hi friends, what's up everyone? Come on in. I know this is a random time of the day. It is a random moment for sure, but I do have some things that I want to say. Got my teddy bear. This is Brandon. He's helping me through this moment. I've been dreading going live. Hey everybody, come on in. I'm going to share this to my page and I hope that you will share it as well. I have quite a bit of things that I want to just kind of bring you up to date on. And check in with everybody. Thank you, Lindsay. I'm having a better day today. I actually did my hair and makeup, which showering, eating, and even drinking water is not a thing that's been happening around here very often. So today I feel better. Hey everyone, good morning. Let me share this real quick. You guys share. I can't do two things at once. My brain is so overwhelmed right now. So, okay, done. I love y'all too. Okay, we can do this. I made notes because you guys know I love you too. Okay. I made notes because I don't want to forget to say something. And you guys know that I'm a talker, but I wanted to be specific. And so for those of you who do not know who I am by some crazy miracle, I am Brandon Holt's wife. I'm Alyssa. I just wanted to jump on here because y'all are I'm sorry. It's gonna be a lot of crying, so just prepare yourself. Y'all are family to us. Y'all watched let me know if you guys can hear me okay, because it's kind of windy out here. I hope that it's not showing up in the audio, but y'all are family, and y'all watched our entire love story unfold right here on this page. And we went live for our wedding, and you watched us get married. He went live and shared. He went live when he asked me to marry him, and you guys were there when he proposed. And then you were there when we said I do. And then you were there when we went through cancer. Twice. And beat cancer twice. Y'all were there. And now you're here for me and the girls through one of the most devastating and traumatic things that I have ever journeyed through. So I say all of that to say, y'all are our family. Brandon and I, when it came to our social media followings, we had people following us for different reasons. Like, I have a following for different reasons. Brandon had a following for different reasons. But when it boiled down to it, it was the faith. It was the consistency in our walks with God. No matter what came our way. We have always been, me before I ever came into Brandon's life, and Brandon before he ever came into Alyssa's life. We fit like this because we were always the kind of people that were so open and real and vulnerable in sharing the process of life from a very real standpoint. I mean, y'all were even live with us when I shaved my head from chemo, and then we worshiped. And you were live with us when I rang the bell, finishing chemo, and we worshiped. And that's been the consistency of Brandon and I's life since we were children. And it will remain the consistency of my life after Brandon and the girl's life after Brandon. Somebody is blaring some crazy music, so I'm sorry if you hear that. I am going to get to my notes. First, I just want to say thank you to everybody. Thank you for the cards. Thank you for the food. Thank you for the gifts, the flowers, the comments, the private messages, the prayers, guys, even the GoFundMe, the checks in the mail. I didn't know how I would make it. We did not have life insurance. And we just came out of a massive cancer journey for 2.5 years. And that acquires a lot of debt. And now I'm a single mama. And I know that God is going to take care of me. But you have helped me so much. And continuing to help me so much. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. Even just the prayers and even just the messages, they have helped me in the night hour when I just can't sleep. Tomorrow will be 1 month since my husband met Jesus, and haven't slept good. I have had nightmares pretty much every night, and when I can't sleep, going through your comments and going through your messages and going through your prayers that you're sending me, those are sustaining me. Those are strengthening me. And I just want to let you know, thank you. Thank you for everything, the food and everything that has been sent to us so we don't have to worry about cooking. I've had people come clean my house. It's just amazing. You guys are amazing. And to every person who came and traveled to Brandon's celebration in Jessup, you guys are awesome. Every person who tuned in and watched his celebration live, you guys are amazing. Everyone who came to his celebration here locally and all of our youth. Brandon and I, we were youth pastors here. I'm still the youth pastor here, but one of the things that we wanted more than anything was to have a baby. And I've struggled with that. But something that I felt the Lord tell me is that we have had many babies because we have discipled people all around the world right here. And it's not necessarily what we thought it would be for us, but we have been spiritual mothers and spiritual fathers to people, thousands of people around the world. And our kids was our youth group. Our kids were our youth group, and they came, and those kids, man, they'd get on our nerves. We'd tell them all the time, you guys are annoying. But the impact they had on our life, the impact we had on theirs. They came and they shared at his service, and it just warmed my heart to see that we did have kids. He was a daddy to my girls, you know. He took my girls in like his own from day one, and they would say, Brandon's my dad. And so thank you guys for celebrating at both celebration services, because he was the best. There's no other Brandon Holt. And honestly, his services couldn't have gone better. The anointing, the worship, the words, the stories, the presence of God, they could not have gone better. I did not know how I was going to lead worship, but I knew I had to. I knew there was no one else. I really wanted to lead my husband into worship one more time, because it's what we did. And the Holy Spirit just covered and gave a grace, and it was just beautiful. If you have not seen the service, you need to go watch the service. I think it's like over 40,000 views now. But go watch it. It was awesome. Okay. I want to address Brandon's passing. This is not something I've addressed publicly, because it was so unexpected. I'm sorry. It was so unexpected. We were not prepared, and we've been having to grieve. And I just felt the Lord. I've been feeling him for the last several days, really. Encouraging me to go live, but it's just been so hard without Brandon. But I just felt like tomorrow is the 1 month since Brandon's passed, and it's time to share with y'all a little bit. I'm not going to go into every detail. The family is still very much processing this entire thing, and I don't feel like every detail is necessary. But I do know that as much as we needed closure, y'all need closure, because y'all are family. Y'all are friends, and I know I've gotten a lot of messages asking what's happened to Brandon, what's happened to Brandon. And I do want y'all to know, like, every message I receive, if I do not respond, I am reading them and I am taking them to heart. Just at the moment, it was not the time to address. But there are a couple things I do want to say because I don't want rumors started about how Brandon passed. The first rumor that he killed himself, or did he commit suicide, or no, 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 never in a million years would that be what happened to Brandon. So I want to squash that. I've had several people message me wondering and concerned, and that is not Brandon's story. So that can ease your hearts and minds. It was not Brandon's weight that killed him, and it was not Brandon's heart that killed him. So those three things. He did not have a heart attack. He did not, like, those, it wasn't because he was overweight. None of that. That wasn't what killed him. Ultimately, Brandon became unexpectedly sick our last weekend of ministry. We went to Tulsa, and I was booked to do a women's conference in Tulsa. Well, not in Tulsa, in Ark City, Kansas. And I begged him to go with me to help me with worship. And so he came, and we all went as a family. And ministry was probably the most powerful that we have done together. I've got videos of it. I have not shared them yet. They will be shared. I've shared clips, but not. Anyway. And then we ended up going to Tulsa on Sunday after the women's conference to do ministry. And Brandon fell unexpectedly sick Sunday night. He was already feeling bad Sunday morning. Sorry. Okay, I can do this. I love y'all too. Okay. Ultimately, I called an ambulance, and what ended up being told to us was that he was septic. He had a massive infection in his bloodstream, and he was septic. We don't know where the infection came from. We have ideas, but we don't know. And the infection put him in organ failure, and ultimately put him into cardiac arrest. And so, no, it was not suicide. No, it was not his weight. No, it was not a heart attack. No, it was not. Brandon was vibrant. Brandon was... We have assumptions, and we're working on some things, but ultimately he went septic, and that's what took his life. And I just felt like y'all needed to know some of what happened, not every detail, but just for your closure. There was a guy we followed on social media, and when he died, it hurt Brandon and I so much because we followed him so closely. He felt like family, and many of you who came up to me at the service said, I don't know you, but you're family because we followed you forever. And I know that feeling. And when that guy died, my dog is crying to get inside, sorry. When that guy died, they wouldn't really tell us what happened. And that was one thing Brandon and I said was like, we wish we knew what happened, you know. Just a second, I gotta let my dog inside. And so, without giving all the details, that's the basics, and that's all y'all really need to know. This last month has been an absolute whirlwind for me and the girls. I've had to make quite literally the hardest decisions I've ever had to make in my life. But it's Jesus. You know, I'm getting a lot of messages. You're the strongest woman I know, everything that you've gone through, but it's Jesus. I couldn't do this without God. I can't even take it one day at a time. People are like, take it one day at a time. I'm not even at the capacity to take it one day at a time. I'm only at the capacity to take it 1 hour at a time, because every hour is hard. And some days it's every minute at a time. And every 60 seconds I can celebrate I made it another minute. But Brandon and I were really just getting started back in life. We were really just getting going again. After a second spout of cancer, a double mastectomy, I was just healed enough for us to start going and doing our thing again. And I was actually, Brandon laughed about it just right before he passed, because he was like, you're the one getting booked now. Like you're the one that all of the bookings are you. Nobody's booking me. And he's like, I am so cool with this. Like I feel in my spirit. He said, I feel in my spirit, this is your moment. And your ministry is fixing to expand. And he's like, I am so proud of you, and I am so honored to be your husband and to watch this. And we were just getting back out there. We were just getting back out there from cancer. And I just want y'all to know that we're not done. I have a lot of things up my sleeve. A lot of big things coming your way. Big things. A lot of surprises. Brennan and I were talking about a new ministry, new vision that we were just fixing to cast with y'all. And we had casted vision before, but it was never the right time because of cancer. And we felt it in our spirits about a month before he passed. We had this conversation, and we have been sitting on some things that we have not said at all to y'all, which we say a lot to you, but we didn't say anything about this. And we both agreed that it was time. It was time to step out and launch it. And so I just want to say, keep your eyes peeled. I have been in the studio. I've been recording some things for y'all to launch some new things that you're going to be able to be a part of with us. And I want to say thank you publicly to every tech guy, every website guy. You guys know who you are. Every producer, every person who has helped me behind the scenes with cameras and media, and friends that have offered their talents and their abilities to help me. I'm still going to reach out to you and utilize those. You guys are awesome because you're helping the forward motion, here because one thing Brandon would not want is for our legacy to die with him. One thing he would not want is for the ministry to die with him. One thing he would not want is for all of this to be for nothing, just to stop with Brandon. And I will absolutely fight hell till my dying day to make sure everything that God promised Brandon and I absolutely comes to pass in my lifetime. And I've already told the Lord, I feel like Job. I was talking to my brother-in-law last night about this. I feel like so many things have been stolen from me. My hair was stolen. My health was stolen. My body parts were stolen. My husband stolen. And I'm declaring sevenfold. The enemy has to pay back what he has stolen. The enemy has to pay back what was stolen. Restoration is my promise. And I'm declaring a harvest of souls for the kingdom. A harvest of souls for the kingdom in capacities that Brandon didn't even get to see on this earth in his lifetime. That's what I'm declaring and believing, is that the legacy we continue on, the things that I'm fixing to unroll and roll out for y'all and show you what we're moving towards and what we were already moving towards when Brandon was alive, but now I'm having to move towards it without him. The harvest of souls are going to be so large that I won't even be able to contain the numbers. That's what I'm believing God for. And so, you know, it's funny because the day before we left for Tulsa or Kansas, because that's where we first went, was Kansas. The day before we went, Brandon and I rented a movie and had a little date night in our room and ordered Chinese takeout, which I never eat Chinese because I'm super like clean eating, but he was like, let's eat Chinese and watch a movie. And we watched this movie, A Man Named Otto. And I don't know if you've seen this new movie, but it's Tom Hanks. And it's about how he watched his wife die of cancer. And then he became suicidal because he didn't want to live without his wife. And he kept trying to kill himself. And I'm sorry, spoiler alert, if you don't want to know what the movie's about, then don't listen to this part of the live. But every time he tried to end his life, it didn't work. And then he ended up having a dream of his wife coming to him. And his wife said, Otto, you've got to live again. I want you to live again. I want you to live again. And I'll never forget it because Brandon was my teddy bear. He was my teddy bear. He would cry at the drop of a hat. You guys would see him crying during worship. A man named Otto. He would cry at worship. He would cry. He could cry at the drop of a hat. And I loved him for that. And he reached over and grabbed my hand. And he had tears streaming down his face. And he said, babe, that's what I would want for you. I would want you to keep living. I would want you to keep living for me. Don't stop living if that ever happens. And I literally hit him on the shoulder and I said, shut up, you're never gonna die, so don't tell me that, you know. And he just kind of started laughing and was wiping his tears away. And I would have never thought that 6 days later, after that, he would be gone. But that's why I have to keep living. I have to, in the midst of so much torment and grief, I have to keep putting one foot in front of the other for our ministry, for our purpose, for our calling, for our girls, for our legacy. This is not dying with Brandon. And I want to affirm that in you. I know I can never replace Brandon. I can never do what Brandon did. But I do know that God has called us together for a reason. It was God ordained. It was orchestrated. It was on purpose for this moment. God saw this coming. The moment that he got us together, the moment that we came into covenant, he saw this coming. He did not just give us purpose and plans and gifts and visions just for the 5 years that Brandon would be on this earth. I have to believe that all of the promises he gave us did not die with him, but that we will see it come to pass together, all of us, and we will celebrate it. So let's see if I have any more. Oh, it looks like I cut myself. I don't know how I cut myself, but right here on the live with y'all. I think I paper cutted myself while I was sitting here. So I want to read you something that I found in Brandon's phone, and I want to end with this, and I will be on here a lot. You might get triggered. Oh, that's where it is. It's on my arm. You might get triggered if seeing his name pop up, but please don't. Like, please know that truly, like, me and Brandon were a part of your life together here, and we shared so much of our cancer journey and so much of our life with you. I hope that you can receive me here. I pray that you can receive me here. I pray that you can see the heart of which I move forward with Brandon and carrying on what we were doing and building together. And I hope that you can embrace me in that, you know. So I will be on here. I will be going live and worshiping at night. That first live is probably going to be really hard because it's our first worship with him in my heart and not beside me, with me playing the keys and not him. But he always was mad at me because I could play guitar and I could play piano, and I never let anybody see it because it wasn't my comfort zone. And he would be telling me, it's time. It's time for you to step out. It's time to pick the mantle up. It's time to do the thing, Alyssa. It's time to stop hiding. It's time to step out and let people see you for who you truly are all the way around. And so I will be coming live and doing all of that. But thank you guys. I see it means so much to me. I see all your comments. But there was something that Brandon had in his phone that I wanted to share. He had this note in his note section, and it said, "You will be a reflection of the God that you see. You will be a reflection of the God that you see." And then it said, he put out a question beside it and said, "How do you see him? How do you see him?" I just want to encourage you as I'm signing off. Don't allow grief and loss and disease. Don't allow depression and anxiety and pain and PTSD and trauma and triggers and abuse. Don't allow those things to alter the way that you see God, because you will become a reflection of the God that you see. I have dealt with so much anger, and I'm still coaching my crew, you know, and I just started coaching again in my crew, and I went live yesterday with them and I cried, and I share a lot more with my crew because it's my crew over there. If you ever want to join the crew, you can let me know and I'll hook you up. But I was talking to them about how in the last month I have dealt with so much anger. And I've had to recognize the fact that the anger cannot be addressed at God. How am I addressing the anger is not the sin. And I don't know what it is you're going through right now. The anger is not the sin. The emotions are not the sin. You were created an emotional being. You are going to experience pain and hate and anger and defeat and chaos and turmoil. You're going to experience these things. It's how you respond to those emotions that place you in a spot that allows fruit to produce. And if you water the seed of anger, bitter fruit will produce. How you direct it is how it's going to develop in your life. And I have had to ask myself this question that Brandon said in his notes. You will be a reflection of the God you see. So how do you see him? Do I see God as the kind of God that steals and kills and destroys? Because if I see God as a God who still kills and destroys, I will become a reflection of that God. It will produce anger. It will produce hatred. It will produce resentment. It will produce bitterness. It will produce a horrible life for me. And I just want to remind you that God's description is not to steal, kill, and destroy. That's the enemy's. The enemy's job title is to steal, kill, and destroy. So if something in your life right now, I am preaching to the choir, guys. If you feel like the enemy is stealing, if you feel like he's killing, if you feel like he's destroying, don't be angry at God. He is not the author of those things. God is the author of all things good. He is the author of peace. He is the author of joy. He is the author of rest. He is the author of provision. He is the author of all things good. So when you feel the anger, ask yourself who the author is. Who is the author of the thing that you are looking at? Is it grief? Is it death? Is it disease? Is it depression? Who authored that? Because God, you can't find it in the word. And you can try to write yourself a comfort message, because this is what the church has done. A whole nother sermon I'm not even going to get into right now. But we have created a comfort gospel in the church. A comfort gospel that says, well, God called them home. Well, God just needed another angel in heaven. First of all, why would he need another angel to sit in heaven and worship him when he needs more people on earth to grab souls and get them into the heaven, get them into the kingdom? The greatest thing that God needs right now is people doing the Great Commission, not going to heaven and sitting around and worshiping. That's a comfort gospel. And I can preach this right now because I'm going through it. So if I ruffle your feathers, guess what? I'm ruffling my feathers. We cannot rewrite the Bible to make our grief feel better. This was not God taking Brandon. This was the author of death and destruction that came in to steal purpose and destiny and calling. And I'm sorry, I'm not writing the devil off by giving him a free pass to say, well, God just needed Brandon in heaven. I do not believe that. That means that I'm giving the devil a free pass to go after his tail end and go after every single thing that he has stolen from us. I'm not giving the enemy a free pass by saying, oh, well, it was just Brandon's time. It was not Brandon's time. Brandon had way more to do. This was the author of destruction, the author of defeat, the author of death. And we live in a fallen state and bad things happen to good people and we don't understand it. Those are questions we're going to have to ask on the other side, right? And at that time, it's not going to matter because we're not going to care, right? Because we're going to be there. But what I'm not going to have is me write it off as some sovereign thing that God just took Brandon in a traumatic and devastating way. God is not the kind of God that torments people in death and destruction. That is not the kind of God that we serve. And if that's the kind of God you see, you will become the reflection of the God you see. My God is a healer. My God is a good God. My God is a provider. My God does not give disease to people and infections to people and torment to people. He uses those things to help us. And he turns those things around and he uses them as our testimony and he uses them in our story, but he does not author those things. Well, what about Job? Old Testament. We are in a new covenant with God. What Jesus did on the cross broke all of the law of sin and death. New covenant. He does not do those things to us. So if you're feeling angry, direct that anger accordingly. Do not give the enemy a free pass by trying to put it off on God that God did this. Get angry and go after the kingdom of hell. Make him pay. Don't give him a free pass trying to put it off on God. No, this was the enemy and he will pay. We are moving forward. We are rolling out vision. We are traveling the world. We are releasing music. We are releasing books. We are doing ministry. We are not stopping. I just want to encourage you with that because I don't know what you're going through, but I know it's easy to get angry at God. But then you will produce bitter fruit because you will become the reflection of the God that you have seen in your mind and have made up in your mind. And if you are questioning who God is, get your Bible out and read about who he is. Get your Bible out and read about who he is. It's all right here. So I'm going to be on here a lot. Come follow my page too. There's a lot coming up. In the last month, I have been unrolling things, producing things, putting things into play. Brandon put some major things into play for me 2 to 3 weeks before he died. And it was just God orchestrated. It was not discussed. It was not given. The vision was not. It was between us and key role people. And I just am not letting those things slip through the cracks. So you guys just be on the lookout because we're not done. We're really just getting started. And I hate that I have to do this without him. It hurts my heart. It hurts my heart. But I just keep seeing him holding my hand and crying after that movie and saying, I would want that for you, Liz. I would want you to keep living. So that's what we're doing together here. I hope that you'll join me. I hope you'll follow. I hope you won't check out because it is truly just getting started. And if you thought that it was good before, it's fixing to be even better than ever. And I don't know how. In my brain, I can't fathom that without Brandon. But I know that God is greater than death. He is greater than grief. He is greater than disease. He is greater than destruction. And he is faithful to his word. I think I got everything. Let me check my notes. I think I got everything. Please follow along. Pray for me and the girls. Please keep praying for me and the girls. We have our very bad days, and we have our good days, and we have our okay days. We have more bad days, though, than anything still, which is understandable. And my girls are really struggling with it. I'm struggling. His parents are struggling. His brother's struggling. You know, we're all struggling. So please just pray for us. Thank you guys. I love y'all so much. Thank you guys for supporting and tuning in and being here with me, and just, this means so much to me that you guys would sit here with me and just let me share my heart. It really does. It just means so much. It's everything to me that you guys are on here with me right now. Also, the GoFundMe says that we've reached our goal, but that's just there. Like, if you still want to give, we still have a lot of debt that the girls and I've got to pay off from cancer and from a lot of things, getting our life in order. The GoFundMe is still available. It's linked to the status. You can still give. I can still receive as long as that GoFundMe's up. It doesn't matter if it's hit the goal. That's helping us kind of move forward. There's a lot of things we're having to fund ministry-wise to move forward with the vision that Brennan and I have, but then there's also life stuff and debts and, you know, things that I've got to get in order. I've got 2 little girls that I'm having to take care of by myself. I don't have a husband that's providing anymore. There's just a lot of things, and I just want to say that I thank you guys so much for that support. And if you can't do that, and all you can do is pray, please send all the prayers that you possibly can send me. But you guys have truly been amazing to me. And I have some things coming up. I've had a lot of people ask how to partner with me and the girls monthly to help us pay our bills monthly after using this money to get our debts and, you know, the funeral expenses and all of the things paid off. But, you know, then once all that stuff's paid, you still have your monthly bills. And I've had a lot of people that have asked how to partner monthly with my ministry, monthly to just help us get groceries and different things like that. That stuff's all coming. I have my website guy that is building out a lot of things. So those opportunities will be available as well for those who feel led and just feel like God's put it on their heart. So otherwise, please pray and connect with us still here. And I will, I don't know when, but I have definitely been feeling a massive pull to go live and worship with you guys. So I will be live one night. You might just get a notification from Brandon Holt. And I hope that you'll jump on with me, and I hope that you'll worship with me. I hope that you'll stay connected and go follow my page as well. And stay tuned, because there's a lot that's going to be posted soon. I love you guys so much. Thank you for being a part of Brandon's life, for making his life so full of so much friendship and love and ministry. It was his greatest honor to pour into you. It was his greatest honor to set atmosphere for you. It was his greatest honor to shift a room of defeat and unrest, I guess you could say, late in the night, worshiping so that you can sleep well. That was his greatest honor. And to worship with you in rooms, congregational settings, and corporate settings. I just love y'all. I just thank you for being that instrumental part of my husband's life. Let's not stop. Let's not quit. Let's not give up. Let's go even harder than we ever have in worship together. Let's go even harder in encouragement, even harder in ministry. and let's build something together that Brandon would be proud of, but more importantly, that God will sit back and be like, look at them go. They are winning souls for the kingdom. So I love you guys. I'll talk to y'all soon.